What is up, Panthers Nation? We have some absolutely crazy breaking news dropping right here in the Queen City. The front office just dropped a massive $120 million bomb on the defense. Our franchise quarterback's future is officially being addressed, and we just signed a crucial piece to protect the trenches. You do not want to miss a single second of this update. Before we dive into this insanity, make sure you smash that subscribe button and keep pounding that like button so you never miss any Carolina Panthers updates.
Bryce Young is the absolute heartbeat of our offense, and today we just got a massive update from Brandt Tillis regarding his future in the Queen City. The Carolina Panthers Executive Vice President of Football Operations officially confirmed that the front office has not yet initiated any formal conversations about a contract extension for our franchise quarterback. Now, before any of you start panicking and hitting the panic button down here in the 704, we need to look at the full picture of what was actually said today. Tillis was extremely vocal and incredibly positive about the recent development we have seen from our signal caller. He specifically praised the clear upward trajectory that our young leader has demonstrated on the gridiron lately. This is a massive relief for a fan base that has been desperately waiting to see consistent growth at the most important position in all of professional football. We all know the struggles this team has faced, but hearing a top executive acknowledge the tangible progress gives us serious hope for the future. The reality of the modern National Football League is that timing is absolutely everything when it comes to massive financial commitments. The front office is playing a very smart and calculated game of patience right now. They want to see a sustained level of elite performance before they back up the Brinks truck and lock him in for the next decade. This strategy actually protects the long-term salary cap health of the organization while simultaneously keeping a healthy chip on the shoulder of our quarterback. He knows he has to earn every single penny of that inevitable massive payday, and that kind of internal motivation is exactly what breeds championship mentalities. When you look at the offensive scheme adjustments and how comfortable he is looking in the pocket lately, it is obvious that the developmental plan is finally starting to click into place. Tillis emphasizing that upward trajectory is basically a green light telling us that the brass believes in his foundational talent. They are not rushing the paperwork because they do not have to just yet. They have him under team control, and right now, the sole focus is on stacking good days, building offensive chemistry, and winning football games on Sundays. The extension will undoubtedly come when the time is perfectly right, but for now, the absolute priority is continuing this progression.
If you are excited to see Bryce taking these massive developmental leaps, drop a quick like on this video and let me know in the comments if you think he is the long-term answer. Keep pounding. Jalen Phillips is officially bringing his explosive pass rushing talents to the Carolina Panthers after signing a monumental 4-year contract worth $120 million. Let that massive number sink in for a second, because the front office just made an aggressive statement to the entire National Football League about our defensive intentions. Now, whenever a franchise hands out an average annual value of $30 million to a defender, the national media analysts are immediately going to start picking apart the details and finding reasons to be heavily skeptical. The main talking point surrounding this blockbuster acquisition centers entirely around his unfortunate history with severe injuries over the past few seasons. Some prominent critics are already questioning if committing that much guaranteed cash to a player with durability concerns is a reckless gamble for a rebuilding roster. However, when you actually watch the game film and evaluate the pure, unadulterated talent this man possesses, the narrative shifts completely in his favor. Phillips is an absolute terror off the edge, possessing a rare combination of elite bend, explosive first-step quickness, and violent hand usage that completely destroys opposing offensive tackles. For a defense that has desperately needed a premier alpha dog to strike fear into the hearts of rival quarterbacks, this move is nothing short of an absolute game-changer. The Panthers essentially decided that the immense upside of acquiring a legitimate double-digit sack artist far outweighs the inherent medical risks attached to his profile. If he can stay healthy and remain on the field, he has the potential to single-handedly elevate our entire defensive unit from average to elite. Having a dominant force rushing the passer naturally makes the secondary look exponentially better because opposing quarterbacks will not have all day to sit comfortably in the pocket and scan the field. It creates hurried throws, forces costly turnovers, and completely disrupts the rhythm of any opposing offensive game plan. Our defensive coaching staff must be absolutely thrilled to integrate a weapon of this extraordinary caliber into their aggressive defensive schemes moving forward.
The sheer magnitude of this monumental contract proves that the ownership is deeply committed to building a terrifying defense right now. They are tired of waiting around and playing it safe in the offseason. Taking calculated risks on game-breaking superstars is precisely how you transform this franchise into a legitimate contender.
What do y'all think about dropping $120 million on an edge rusher? Is it a brilliant move or a massive risk? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. I want to hear from Panthers Nation. Rasheed Walker is officially the newest pillar of our offensive line, and General Manager Dan Morgan recently broke down exactly why this addition is absolutely critical for our continued success. In a fantastic new video series released by the franchise, Morgan provided an incredibly detailed analysis of the exceptional blocking skills that this talented offensive tackle brings to the trenches. Snagging him during the chaotic free agency period was undoubtedly one of the most underrated yet fundamentally vital moves our front office has executed thus far. The entire strategy revolves heavily around solidifying the protection up front for the massive upcoming 2026 campaign. Morgan specifically highlighted his incredibly smooth footwork, heavy hands, and impressive football intelligence when diagnosing complex defensive blitz packages pre-snap. These are the exact nuanced traits you desperately want in a dependable offensive tackle who will be heavily tasked with protecting the most valuable asset on the field. When you step back and evaluate the overall roster construction, investing heavily in the offensive trenches is always the smartest foundational building block for any successful franchise. A formidable offensive line dictates the physical tone of the football game, establishes a bruising rushing attack, and most importantly, keeps the quarterback standing tall and completely comfortable in the pocket. Walker provides a very reassuring presence and adds desperately needed premium depth to a unit that simply cannot afford to falter down the grueling late-season stretch. We have seen far too many promising offensive drives stall out in recent years simply because the protection immediately broke down at the absolute worst possible moments. Morgan emphasizing his specific fundamental abilities in that detailed video breakdown essentially signals that the coaching staff views him as a long-term fundamental piece rather than just a simple temporary band-aid solution. His unique combination of functional strength and lateral agility perfectly fits the physical identity that this coaching staff is tirelessly trying to establish here in the beautiful Queen City. The fans should be extremely fired up about this methodical approach to team building because it proves the front office actually understands the vital importance of trench warfare. While flashy skill position players usually grab all the exciting national headlines, signing a tough, gritty, and technically sound offensive tackle is what legitimately wins tough division matchups in the harsh winter months. This strategic acquisition heavily reinforces the protective wall moving forward. When you look at all these moves collectively, Dan Morgan and Brandt Tillis are sending a very clear message. The Carolina Panthers are done being the punching bag of the NFC South. By heavily investing $120 million into Jalen Phillips, we are instantly transforming our pass rush into a terrifying unit. Combine that with securing Rasheed Walker to protect the edge, and it is obvious they are building a rugged, physical team. All of this perfectly sets up Bryce Young for success. They are holding off on his extension to maintain financial flexibility, but they are surrounding him with the protection and the complementary defense he needs to thrive. This is smart, aggressive roster building. To wrap things up, the Queen City is finally seeing a competent front office at work. We secured a lethal pass rusher, fortified the offensive trenches, and are handling our quarterback's contract with absolute precision. The future is looking incredibly bright down here in the 704. But I want to turn it over to you. Which of these three massive updates are you most hyped about? Let me know in the comments. Do not forget to subscribe, and as always, keep pounding.